Punahou News Network.
Good morning and welcome to Punahou News Network. It's Tuesday, May 26th. I'm Lael, Sommer in Honolulu, Hawaii. There's been quite a bit of controversy regarding the construction of telescopes on Mauna Kea, and the debate has only heated with the announcement of the construction of the 30-meter telescope. Here's field reporter Kelli Santos to give you more information.
Thanks, Lael. Mauna Kea is currently home to 13 different observatories funded by 11 different countries. When measured from base to peak, it is a whopping 9,330 meters tall, making it the most prominent mountain in the world, as well as one of the best locations for astronomical observation. Other than its elevation, Mauna Kea's lack of light pollution, air pollution, turbulence, and its position in the atmosphere make it the perfect location for these telescopes that can look up to 13 billion light years away. Back to you, Lael.
Thanks, Kelli. Clearly, Mauna Kea is one of the ideal locations to put a telescope. However, much of the controversy is focused on its importance to the Hawaiian people. Here's Ricky Pang to give you more background.
Thanks, Lael. Mauna Kea is known as the Pico of the island of Hawaii, and also as the child of Papa and Wakea. It is known to connect the earth to the heavens, and for this reason, it is one of the most sacred locations to native Hawaiian culture. In ancient Hawaiian society, only high-ranking chiefs were allowed to visit its peak. Not only is the summit sacred, but also home to a wide variety of native Hawaiian species. Back to you, Lael.
Naturally, the 30-meter telescope has met quite a bit of opposition. Due to social media, the anti-TMT group has found members all across the globe. The opposition states that building the telescope would be an act of disrespect to the Hawaiian people. Moreover, they believe that it's time for people to start respecting Hawaiian culture and traditions. An anti-TMT petition has already gained 60,000 supporters and is continuing to grow. Similarly, a pro-TMT group has been started by HPA senior Mailani Neal. Here is Kelli Santos with an exclusive interview.
Thanks, Lael. We have Mailani Neal here on FaceTime to ask her some questions about her pro-TMT petition. Neal will be graduating from HPA this weekend and will be attending Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in the fall, majoring in applied physics with an emphasis on space science. Okay, so hi Mailani.
Hi Kelli.
Okay, so thank you for interviewing with us, but I was wondering what your background and interest in astronomy are.
Okay, so it actually began in 4th grade. My science teacher introduced us to a science unit about Polynesian voyaging, and so we learned a lot about how the Hawaiians of the ancient times had used many signs in nature to navigate around the ocean, and we learned about the ocean currents and marine life. But what really caught my interest the most was how they used the stars to navigate. And so that really sparked my interest.
Okay, so the main argument against the TMT is that it's built on the Hawaiian sacred grounds, right? So since you have a Hawaiian ancestry, how do you feel about that, and what's your counter argument, I guess?
I first want to say we all choose to hear what we want to hear, think what we want to think, and believe what we want to believe. And so what my belief is that when TMT says that they have surveyed the area to make sure that they aren't, constructing against burial sites or, the shrines that are up there, I believe them. Mm-hmm. And also, I guess, one of the viewpoints is that this telescope is called desecration. I don't really believe it to be desecration. I think that it's really a beautiful project because, the Hawaiians were always searching for knowledge. They called it imi ike. And so that's exactly what this telescope is doing. It's looking further into the universe than we've ever seen before and searching for knowledge we've never even thought of.
Okay. So tell me more about your petition and the experience itself and the responses you received.
Oh my gosh, I really never thought it would be this crazy or influential. You know, in my mind, I was just going to tell some of my friends, and they were going to tell their parents, and, like, some people at school, like my teachers, and I thought that was just going to be it. And it really took off. It escalated really quickly. We recently reached over 7,000 signatures, and that's definitely a lot more than I ever expected.
Last question, what is your hope for like the situation as the whole, like all the construction moves forward?
Just hope that everyone, regardless of their opinion, will actually take the time to listen to each other, become educated, and try to see what another person sees. And I think that if we do that, it'll enable us to share the mountain. I don't want this to just be a raging problem forever, and I think that we can, I guess you could say, utilize the mountain for many reasons that can be in harmony. That's my biggest hope.
Okay, that's great. Thank you again for taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks, Kelly. In order to get another expert opinion on the TMT controversy, we interviewed Nathan Stock, a Punahou physics teacher. Here's Ricky with the exclusive interview.
We're here today with Mr. Nathan Stock, a Punahou astronomy teacher, who also has previous experience with Mauna Kea observatories. Hi, Mr. Stock. Thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure.
So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the questions.
Go right ahead.
So what kind of background do you have in astronomy and science?
I am a physics undergraduate. I have an undergraduate degree in physics and a graduate degree in astronomy.
And you also have personal experience with Mauna Kea observatories, is that correct?
I've been up and I've worked at the Keck observatories, as well as several other observatories at other mountains around the world.
Okay, so I'm sure you're familiar with the commotion that's being caused with the construction of the TMT.
I've seen news articles. I haven't been following it quite as closely as some might in the astronomical community, but I am aware of it. I do know that there is commotion, as you put it, regarding the construction of the 30-meter telescope, the TMT.
So what is your take on that, your personal opinion?
In what regard? In terms of whether I think there should be a telescope or the protests of the telescope?
Well, the way I would see it is there's two sides, which would be the protesters and the supporters of the telescope. And would you be comfortable saying which side you would choose based on your background?
Well, based on my knowledge, I do know that there are concerns with the 30-meter telescope, the TMT, being built on Mauna Kea, both environmental, pragmatic, and cultural concerns. I would come down on the side if I had, I do know that there are legitimate concerns in that regard, but as an astronomer, I think the 30-meter telescope has a place up on Mauna Kea. If those concerns are addressed, it is a powerful telescope. Mauna Kea is one of the best mountains in the world to build such a telescope, and for Hawaii to have such preeminence in science would be very good for the state.
Okay. So would you mind going into further detail on some of the benefits of the telescope, just in like a broad kind of?
Certainly. The telescope itself is another way for us to expand our knowledge, to discover more about the universe we're in. And I think people in general are we by our nature as our discoverers or wanderers or journeyers. And this telescope is a way to further our knowledge of space, of some of the most distant things, of our origins, where we've come from, of the possibility of other planets where we could one day travel. And from a more pragmatic point of view, a lot of the technology that telescopes develop get used later on. Right now they might seem very specialized to astronomy, but later on, years from now, they could have a much greater impact. A prime example of this is a CCD camera. Originally used by telescopes to take pictures of the sky so that you had hard copies of what you were looking at. Now pretty much every smartphone has a CCD camera to take pictures with.
Okay, well, I think that's about it. Thank you, Mr. Stock. Back to you, Lael.
In more news, as the school year comes to a close, seniors aren't the only ones soaking in their last days at Punahou. Quite a bit of teachers seem to be saying goodbye as well. Here's JP Muasau with the rest of the story.
Thanks, Lael. This is JP Muasau here with Punahou Spanish teacher Senora Marta Montana to ask her some questions about her departure. Hola, Senora.
Hola.
So how long have you been teaching at Punahou?
I've been teaching at Punahou for 4 years.
And how would you describe your Punahou experience?
It's been an amazing experience working at Punahou. My students are awesome and my colleagues are great. Everything has been really nice here for us.
That's good. So what are your plans for the future?
Well, I'm moving to Barcelona, Spain, so I probably will not be teaching Spanish there. I would like to continue teaching. I love being in the classroom with the students, so I might try to teach English as a second language, or if not, work in education. Kind of like some administrative job would work for me too, where I can use English and also Spanish and Catalan. I also speak Catalan, so something that I can be speaking in English I would like a lot.
Sounds good. Okay. Thank you, Senora.
You're welcome.
Back to you, Lael.
Thanks, JP. Now let's go back to his exclusive interview with the well-loved math teacher, Jennifer Duncan.
Thanks, Lael. I'm here with Jennifer Duncan for her take on her reasons for why she's leaving Punahou. So, Miss Duncan, how long have
Yes,
you been
JP.
teaching at Punahou?
I've been at Punahou for 9 years.
So where are you going to be heading off to?
I will be teaching at a private school in Monterey, California.
And what has brought you to that decision?
My husband works in California, and so he's been commuting back and forth while we've lived here, and it'll just simplify our lives a great deal.
And what are you going to miss most about teaching at Punahou?
The kids, and hearing what amazing things they're doing in the future, and just being part of this community will be what I miss the most.
And do you have any advice for incoming students next year?
Work hard, love math, peace out.
Thanks, Miss Duncan.
Okay.
Back to you, Lael.
That's all we have for today, folks. We hope you've enjoyed the special reports on the TMT controversy and bidding our teachers farewell. Stay classy, have a wonderful Tuesday, and stay tuned for tomorrow's morning report.
Punahou News Network.